Hi, everybody. So it's been just under 2 weeks since the inauguration, and we already have our first big problem, the travel ban. So, of course, that means it's time for an installation of the Sergeant-At-Arms, and so the travel ban it is. Um, where to begin with that? Okay, so where we begin is President Trump has put in place a travel ban for 7 Middle Eastern countries. I'm not even going to cite the countries because it appears to be random. There has been some discussion about them being the same 7 countries that President Obama's administration identified as highly risky countries for terrorism. But that still doesn't really make much sense. If there's going to be a ban, it should be comprehensive across the Middle East because there's just so many regions of the Middle East where terrorists live, hide, all of those things. But that's not what this is about. This is about all the protests that are taking place because we have a travel ban in those 7 countries. I think the thing that is most disturbing is I just keep thinking about Ellis Island, and I keep thinking about all those people hundreds, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, who were coming into Ellis Island, and they were all refugees. I mean, all of them were escaping a life that wasn't going to be better than what they were expecting coming here. So that's the first thing that I keep thinking. But then the next thing I keep thinking is this is potentially unconstitutional, and it's because the First Amendment says, and I'm going to read this: Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Where it starts to get difficult and sticky is President Trump and the White House has said this is not a Muslim ban. I want to say I've even heard them say this is not a travel ban. It is a travel ban. It may not be a Muslim ban, but it is a travel ban. And again, I would need to see the language of the executive order that he signed to specifically be able to say whether it's unconstitutional or not. Regardless, the one thing that he is making a misstep on is he has spoken about being supportive and helping Christians in the Middle East who are suffering. But he's made no mention of Muslims in the Middle East who are suffering. And so once you start talking about specific religions, then you do start getting into the territory where it becomes unconstitutional because you start violating the First Amendment. I think his administration needs to really kind of backtrack through that. And yeah, I know it's difficult because he's a loose cannon and he says what he wants to say. But they're going to have to be a lot more thoughtful about these things because the only reason this has become such a huge deal is because of the words Muslim ban and support of Christians. If we took both of those out, then I think the conversation would be different. I think still people would still be protesting, but I think it would be in a different way. And I think there would be less fire because it's not about a religion. But again, it's only been 2 weeks. And the difficulty that I have again with this situation is I have lots of friends who say he's not my president. I've never been a fan of Donald Trump as a businessman, and I'm no more a fan of him as the president of the United States because of the way he conducts himself in general. But I am a big fan of the office of the President of the United States. And regardless of the person who occupies that office, I think the office deserves a level of respect that should just be inherent. For that, we have to be in a position to say, okay, he is the President of the United States. What that means is everybody else has got to be paying attention, and everybody else has got to watch everything that he does. And everybody else has to hope that the people that he's putting in place in his cabinet will do a good job. The Republicans on the Hill have spoken pretty decently about the people who have been confirmed. There are several other people who have not been confirmed yet, but they've talked about the people who have been confirmed glowingly. That's great. So we just have to hope that there are enough people around him that he respects, because if he respects these people, then he might listen to them. It's people that he doesn't respect and people who attack him that he tends to attack and resort to immature behavior. That's never going to be good as president of the United States, and we all know that. But again, what position are we in to do anything about it other than say he's the president of the United States? We've got a Congress that is supposed to be a check and balance on everything he does. We're going to have to hope that actually takes place. So let's see what happens with this travel ban. People are protesting from coast to coast, but we'll see. President Trump has been tweeting, and the Sergeant-At-Arms has been tweeting right back. So look for the Sergeant-At-Arms tweets on Twitter. It's Sergeant-At-Arms USA. So it's SGTATARMS USA. Look for the tweets because they're there, and look for tweets that highlight things that are going well and things that are not, because that's the other thing that I'm attempting to do with this platform, is make sure that all the information gets there. The good things that the Senate's doing, the good things that the House is doing, the good things that the White House may be doing, because believe it or not, there's one or two good things that they're doing. So keep track, and we'll see you on the next installation of the Sergeant-At-Arms.